what is the storage? So how do plants store their food? They store it in their cells, right? So how do we store it in our cells? Muscle glycogen. And what is the food of glycogen? I mean, what do we put in there? It's what? Hello? Sugar. Hello. It comes from carbs. And you have to just eat the kind of carbs, the clean carbs that will fuel your muscles. I eat sweet potatoes, I eat quinoa, and I soak my quinoa. But now you can actually buy sprouted quinoa because the food industry is getting a hold of, like, they're starting to listen to us. It's good. Right. So look for sprouted quinoa if you can find it, or just freaking soak it in a bowl with a little apple cider vinegar. That'll help it speed up the process. Like, put it somewhere warm. This is awesome. I mean, so the reason plants have this like protective coating is just to protect them so they don't sprout before they're supposed to. To sprout, a plant needs a little heat, a little acidity, and a little time. It's a little warmth. Like, that's just what it does in nature. I mean, it's not to hurt you. They're not out to get you. Sure. So anyway, not to digress, but I'm the queen of digressing. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I eat carbs that are low glycemic, that keep my blood sugar stable, and I eat them. I buy them properly prepped, or I prep them myself. And, you know, to throw some quinoa in a bowl in the morning and leave the house for the day and come home and just throw it in a pot and cook it, it really isn't that freaking hard. It's really just knowing that I need to do it and then just doing it. I mean, these are things, and so I like to batch my cooking. I would say that my biggest secret to success over the last few years, and why I've really maintained and just felt so healthy, aside from the balance and, you know, all the other things we talked about, is really just like having a system where I don't do this every single week. Sometimes it'll take me 10 days to do it again because it does require a little bit of effort, but I pretty much just batch a lot of my cooking. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys do too, right? You cook up chicken, or you throw in a crock pot and you make a big stew for the week, and then that's one of your staple dinners. And then you'll cook, like, I like to get fresh fish, so I'll get like fresh fish from the market a couple times a week, or if I don't feel like fresh, I'll have frozen shrimp tossed with some pesto or some pasta sauce, and you know, stuff like that. It's just really, really simple. And like, the more whole, like, I would say why I do pestos is because I think it's really important for our immune system to get a lot of like good garlic and like fresh herbs, and and so that's why I make a point of like incorporating things. People are like, wow, you eat like a gourmet person, and I'm like, it's actually, these recipes all have like 5 ingredients. I throw them in a food processor, or I just toss them on the stove. I don't really measure. It's really just try stuff. Don't worry about it. If you mess it up, you know, like what's that line from Scent of a Woman? If you get tangled up, just tango on, when they're doing the tango and that dance. I love that line, because it's like, so what if you screw it up? I just was reading on my friend's Simple Green Smoothies account this morning. She was talking about green smoothie fails. Like, what do you do if you make a green smoothie and it tastes like crap, right? Like, and they had these 2 awesome suggestions, and I want to share them with you guys because they're so good. So the first one was pour the green smoothie into ice cube trays and freeze it, and then add a cube at a time to another green smoothie. Or you can add a banana or another tropical fruit to the smoothie, because usually if you add a little sweetness to it, it'll help. Which I think those are great tips. And
those are great tips. I've definitely made some green smoothies before that tasted like a bowl full of, like, you know, swamp water.
To making a good green smoothie. One is you want to balance your green smoothie. You want to balance the vegetables to the fruits. Sure. And if you're a beginner, I recommend more fruits than greens, just because it's good for you to eat whole. So I'm not a huge juice person. If you give me a juice, I'm not going to turn it down. I think getting greens in our bodies is awesome, right? But smoothies, I like smoothies better because they help keep your blood sugar a little more stable because of the healthy fiber that's in them. They fill you up a little bit more, and they just slow down how fast your body gets those nutrients and that sugar from the fruit and from the greens. So I like to do the green smoothie. They're also great if you're, wanting to do a little bit of a fat flush. I mean, they really kind of will go through your digestive system and help pull things through your body that may be stuck, or they're just a really good thing to do. So I usually do one every day. Sometimes I'll miss a day here or there just because I run out of fresh produce, but it's cool. You know, just the more you can do, and you want to be careful of not, if you don't have a good blender, you can get around that easily. You can just put your greens in with your liquid first and blend them really, really well, and then add your other ingredients. Because if you try to throw everything in the blender at once, sometimes it'll just make a mess.
It gets caught up, yeah.
Yeah, so I use a Blendtec. I've also had a Vitamix in the past, and I know those machines are expensive, but both of those companies sell refurbished, and they're awesome, and they're usually like half price. So, like, seriously, like, don't go and, if you go and buy a $99 blender, and it craps out on you after a year, and you're drinking crappy smoothies that could have been like 10 times better if you just spent twice the amount and you use it every day and you have the best smoothie of your life. I mean, go for the experience. It's like a good pair of shoes. You're going to wear them every single day. Buy the good ones. Like,
yeah.
And you don't have to spend $400. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if you want to, great. I'm sure Blendtec or Vitamix would love your support. But either way, you can get a great blender. And if you don't want to get one of those blenders and you have a good blender that you are happy with, that's my secret with making a good green smoothie is just blend your greens with your liquid first and then add your stuff as you go.
So I know you're a huge green smoothie fan. What's your favorite? What's something we can just like tell people right now? Hey, if you haven't ever done green smoothies before, what's a great intro? Like, go get this and put it in a blender. Go.
Great green smoothie. I use my green smoothies as a way to sneak in an extra serving of protein every day. So because like you got to have a certain amount of protein every day if you want to maintain your muscle mass. It's important. You don't have to have like 1,000 grams of protein like they say on bodybuilder.com, but it is important to pay attention to your protein. So I would do mixed spinach and baby kale. A lot of you guys will read, oh, I have to put kale in my smoothie. It's so bitter. I can't stand the taste. Look for the baby kale. Baby kale's very tender. It's awesome. It's almost sweet, so you won't even know. And you'll still get all the benefits of the kale. When you're starting to feel a little bit more like an expert with green smoothies, I want you to try the mature kale. Make sure you rip off the tough stalks because they will jam up your blender, and they're also tougher on your system, especially if you don't have like a high-speed blender. But it's cool. Just, try different stuff. So I would get either a box or a bag of those mixed spring greens or add a little baby spinach. Don't do too much baby spinach because spinach is one of the chenopod family, and it's got some oxalic acid in the leaves, which will block calcium absorption if you just constantly inundate your body with spinach or chard. Chard's another one. But that's why it's important to mix up your grains and also mix up. You have some that are cooked and some that are raw. Okay, so you're back to your smoothie recipe. You've got a handful or maybe a cup of like mixed greens, right? Strawberries, frozen or fresh, no problem either way. I would do strawberry banana, especially if you're new to green smoothies. I don't do a lot of tropical fruits in my smoothies these days. I mostly stick to the lower glycemics like berries and apples and stuff. But if you're new, I highly recommend you add the sweeter fruits because it's great. You're drinking greens. It's fine.
You're trying to build a habit too that you enjoy.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot on the first day. Like strawberry banana. Add some grapes. Do strawberries and grapes. Do about 8 to 10 grapes and see how it tastes. Because remember, you can pour out. And I'd get a shot glass. This is fun. I do this at my classes sometimes. I'll pour like shots for people of the smoothies, and we can taste them. Then we add other things to them, so you can see how easily it is to affect the change of the flavor of the smoothie.
Well, that's really cool. That's a good way to start like getting your own sea legs when it comes to like learning how to flavor things.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't stress about it. Like you can add more stuff if it doesn't taste right.
Sure.
So I do about a handful, maybe like a good cup of mixed greens, banana, and good trick with your bananas, of course, if they're starting to go brown, throw them in the freezer so you can have them in things like your smoothies so you don't waste them. And as far as how many strawberries, I'd start with five good-sized strawberries, a whole banana, your spinach. And then I like to make my smoothies sort of a large snack, like a little in-between kind of thing. So I would add almond milk. I do the unsweetened plain almond milk in my smoothie. And then I would add, I might add hemp seeds if I had some, because hemp seeds are wonderful. They're full of all of the essential amino acids, which means they're a complete protein plant source, which is very unusual. They're also full of all the essential fatty acids, which is amazing. This is just an amazing seed. If you can get your hands on some hemp seeds, highly recommended. Probably a lot of you guys already know about how awesome hemp seeds are. And then I might add a couple tablespoons of hemp seeds. I'd add a scoop of something like Health Force or Warrior Force protein powder that didn't have a lot of flavor, but they're just like their company, everything. They changed where they were growing their crops actually because the soil had been somehow it wasn't good enough. And this guy, like, he cares about everything from like the lid on his cans to the ingredients that they're putting. So it's just a really good company. The guy's you should interview him if you can find him. Warrior Force guy. I'll look him up for you.
Jamin something.
Yeah, he's like this crazy relic of a guy who's just amazing, and like I love his company. I think they're great. But anyway, so
I have a lot of their stuff. I use their greens and I use their protein and things like that. So
yeah, I'm a huge fan of them, and I don't really care about any affiliation like thing. I just believe in their company so much. I put that in my body because I know this guy, like what he believes in, and he cares about the right stuff, right? So. Anyway, so I'll throw a scoop of that in there. So I've got some good protein. I've got some good fast, like quick energy carbs from the fruit. And if I wanted to make this like a good post-workout smoothie, I might do a sweet potato smoothie, but I'll have to give you the recipe for that later. But I definitely would include this is just like something that I want to just basically, I think of my green smoothie as something that's sort of like a snack, but like a vitamin snack, right? Like I'm getting my dose of fiber, my vitamins, my greens. And I would also throw in a handful of parsley. Now parsley is just packed with vitamin C. It's just awesome. And it'll just add a little burst of brightness to your smoothie.
Some herbs to it.
Yep. I normally would do a squeeze of fresh lemon, maybe like a quarter of a lemon. So my standard smoothie is basically greens, parsley, a cucumber, strawberries, apple, hemp seeds, protein powder, and a little chunk of ginger. That's it.
Easy.
I mean, and I know that was like 8 ingredients, right? But I mean, I like have fresh produce in my house pretty regularly because I don't buy chips. I don't buy cookies. I make my own cookies when I want cookies. I'll just make a thing. I make cookie dough and have cookie dough, and I grind up like nuts and flax seeds and cacao nibs and a little bit of honey, and oh my god, like just eat it out of the thing. It's like it's like the best cookie dough in the world. That recipe's on my blog, by the way, guys, if you want it. Cookie dough, yeah.
Right on, Rocker. Well, we're just about out of time. I always ask people one more question before I take them off the call. We've already covered a lot of different stuff today, and we've talked about this a little bit, but I always ask people, you've got a successful blog now. Your business is thriving. You're influencing a lot of people. You've got a great body, so you're successful physically. What is your secret to success?
My secret to success is never giving up. It's never giving up. I've had life throw me a lot of curveballs, and I made a lot of mistakes, choices that I probably could have made better choices. And the secret to success is that you wake up every day and you keep going, and you deal with your own depression or your angst or your fears or your negativity proactively, that you go out there and you like just take those bitches by the horn and you just give it to them, and you get what you need out of life. Like you go for it, you go after your dreams, and you don't stop, and you just keep going. And you got to stop. I had to stop being selfish myself. I'm not going to sit here and tell you stop being selfish, because I had to stop being selfish. I had to take the focus off of me. Why am I not sexy? Why am I not pretty? And actually focus on how can I help others feel good in their bodies, because I'm just starting to feel good in my body. This is like 5 years ago. How can I do this for myself? And I just did it, and I just kept going. And you just have to believe in yourself and push through those barriers, and just don't give up. Like, don't give up. That's the number one thing. I don't care where you are. It's possible. You can do it.
That's awesome. Well, Bree, the Betty Rocker, thanks for coming on the call. I really appreciate your time today.
My pleasure. It's so nice to talk to you. Thank you so much for having me. It's really awesome to get to talk to you.